Hey everybody, so today I'm here to do my gift guide. So we've got ages newborn to 9-year-olds. 3 different price points, $20, $25, and $35. We've got a few options for each, so let's just go ahead and get started. I have everyone through 3 years old pulled up so far, so we're just going to go through them. The first one, which is in $20 column, although they're newborns, they really don't need much. So obviously, this is well under $20, but I do think some kind of security blanket like this would be amazing. We have gotten every single one of our kids one of these for their first Christmas, and it's always worked out beautifully. Our youngest is the one who took the hardest to it. She still has hers. It's from Target. I went with Sloth because it felt very gender neutral, but there's a bunch of fun ones. Obviously, you can get one that's a little bit more tailored to your kiddo if you already have a inside joke or a nickname or something like that for them. But this is something that I think can grow with them, and it's also something that can help those transitions. So when we were weaning Lexi off of the binky, she relied heavily on her little security blanket. And the only thing I will say, and one of the reasons I put this under the $20 category, buy two, because here's the thing. Thankfully, we've never lost ours, but that can happen. But also, there's going to be times where this thing gets so disgusting, it has to be washed, and your kiddo is not going to want to be without it. So we have Llama 2.0, and she gets him whenever the other one is in the wash, and she does not like it as much, but she's kind of adapted to it at this point. But this is something I highly recommend, something that can be their emotional support through a lot of different transitions when they are so little, because they go through so many. And then the next thing, this is for the 25 and under range, but still I think that this is brilliant. I love these soft blocks. I think I have before in other videos mentioned something similar, but they were not by Inventor, and these are much more affordable. These have amazing ratings, and I like the fact that it comes in its own little baggie. These are just great. With how soft these look, they look like they could teeth on them and stick them in their mouth and do, all the kind of sensory seeking, and also play with them and grow into that as well. So I really liked the look of these. I'm sure a lot of these will be linked on Amazon as well. What I can link to Amazon, I will. Do not like to leave my Canadian friends out. So you can see that I left the $35 range here blank, and that was intentional, because for all of our first kids' birthdays, not only did we buy them a couple of small things like the lovey and maybe some toys or whatever, but what we spent the majority of the money on for their very first Christmas was something useful for ourselves as parents. Getting them a small couple of things like that, just so they can open and you can feel good about it, because obviously they're not going to know any different whatsoever. Then using the rest of that budget to buy something that the whole family could use to make this transition easier with bringing a new baby into the family, I think is really smart. So that was intentionally left blank. There's just not a whole lot of things that newborns need or could want, so I left it blank, and I wanted to recognize the family unit as a whole. And moving on to the 1-year-olds, the very first one for the $20 range, we've got these blocks. I have referenced some kind of stacking blocks within probably almost any gift guide, but I cannot stress enough how awesome these are. Yes, they are going to get chewed up and broken and disgusting by the time you're done with them. They're also $15. So no harm, no foul. Most of them are made with cardboard, and it's not something that's going to last forever, but they really don't need it to either. I know we like to reuse and invest in things when we can, but we also are on a budget. So let's be realistic here. I really liked this one because it does have numbers. It has different shapes and colors as well. So I try to get as much out of these blocks as possible. So it's not just a stacking toy, it's something else that they can use with counting, letters, numbers, whatever ones that you pick, But something like this really is a great toy at this age. I cannot begin to tell you how many of these we have had through having 3 kids, and they're a hit every time. So on to the $25 range. This is a very simple toy, but I know there are so many plant enthusiasts out there now. I just think this is perfect. If you are a plant person and your kid sees that, I think this is just adorable. Or if they just like plants in general. You know, here in the Midwest, we're not going to be able to do anything plant-wise probably until around May or June. So there's a lot of stuff we have to do inside, and I think this is excellent. Whether you've got a kiddo who is outdoorsy, but because of the weather of where you live, whether you're interested in plants yourself, whatever. It's very simple. It is basically just a squirt bottle with these two flowers, and when you squirt it, it changes the color. So it's very simple, but I think for the age of a 1-year-old, I think this is very appropriate. We've got some hand-eye coordination. We've got some stimulation. We've also have some cause and effect here going on. I just think all around this is a really, really good toy for this age. I don't know about these small little tablets. I mean, it looks to be like in a chunk, but I don't know if that's necessary. Yeah, I don't know about that. So I'd probably take that out if we're being completely honest. But otherwise, I think this is brilliant for a 1-year-old. I really like this. And of course, it's by Melissa and Doug. All great toys usually are. Anyways, moving on to the $35 price point. Yes, this is a familiar toy. I still have it because my 4-year-old, my almost 8-year-old, and my 9-year-old still play with it. This was one of the best things I could have ever bought. It's not annoying. It has volume control. It's got different tempos and stuff, as you can see on it. But there's 2 different modes. You can use it just as a piano, but you can also get the motor going and it will levitate these little balls inside. It lights up. They love it. I cannot stress this enough. This is a durable, beautiful little piano, okay? Obviously, it's not going to be for all ages, but it is something that my kids will not let me take out of the playroom and something that they keep coming back to. I think for this age group specifically with the 1-year-old, it's something they can continue to grow into and they're going to get a kick out of. With the colors, the levitating little birdies in there, everything about it is adorable. And like I said, it has volume control. Very important. So we are moving on to the 2-year-olds. Now, this is not something I think I've directly mentioned in a long time, and I'm talking years. Like, I think the last time I featured Violet in one of my videos was one of my very first videos. So it's been a long time, but I think it's just because I think everybody knows that this is an obvious choice. But I wanted to reiterate it because if your kids have uncommon names, I think this is a beautiful gift. I don't think my kids' names are uncommon whatsoever, but still, we don't find a lot of Sophie, Remy, or Lexi in places. And with Violet, you are able to program her to say your child's name. I think there may be some limitations as far as her speaking it, but I do think you're able to add in just about any name and her at least be able to spell it because you are programming it and she can spell it with them. So it is a personalized gift. This is something that my older kids hung on to for a very long time. They each got their own Violets, separate gifts, separate things. Normally, I'm not big on the having more than one in my home kind of thing, but this was one toy we did have more than one of because it is personalized. So don't overlook Violet. There's a reason why this thing has been around for eons, and it's because it is a very simple yet adorable gift. It's a plushie. It talks to them. It can know their favorite foods and their names, and it's a lot of fun. She also has a lullaby mode, which is something that my kids used a lot at that age, and I don't know, I just wanted to throw her in here because it's been a while since we've seen Violet here. $25 range. Is it $25.16? Yes, I'm so sorry, but I have to do it because these are brilliant. I love these. I wish my kids weren't too old for them. They play with real circuits now, but this is genius. So these are obviously little circuits, but they're not little. They're actually pretty big. They're made for 18 months plus, but I just wasn't sure how much at 18 months kids are going to be getting out of it. I feel like 2 and up, that's more of like where they will actually be able to recognize the cause and effect here and what they are doing with what they're getting. So I think this is a beautiful toy. Beautiful. It's perfect. It is big. It's chunky for those little baby toddler hands. and the functions on them are not too complicated. Where is it? Okay, right there. So we've got light up, whistle, whirl, which is a fan, and then we've got push, flip, and slide. So these are very simple, but I think for this age range, incredible. Again, I know it's technically 25-16, but I couldn't not put these in here. And I also had something for the $30 one. So this is my $35 pick. I think this is amazing. Look how tall this thing is. Like, at first, looking at this picture, you're like, it's not that special. But you see how tall this thing is. I actually think it is a really, really cute gift. I think, especially if there's more than one kid in the house, this is the way to go. These soft little plushies. I think it's really cute with all the sea life going on here as well. So I wanted to pick this one because I felt like it was a pretty sizable gift. You know, like if you're looking for a bigger gift for a kid this age, it's bigger without spending loads and loads of money. So that brings us, I believe, all the way through the, let's see, yeah, 2-year-olds. So we are on to the 3-year-olds. We're moving through this quickly, but as we should. So for the $20 range, I had to put this on here. I found this at the beginning of this year, and I have been chomping at the bit to tell you guys about it because look how cute it is. Just precious. I mean, it's got like a little taco holder so they can put the taco in there while they're making it. There's a little drawer to keep all of the stuff in. We've got a mortar and pestle. Come on. Is that a bowl of sour cream? You're killing me. You're killing me. This is so adorable. I love this. They're going to get a lot of play out of this. And you guys know me. I love when it comes with storage. The fact it can all pack up right here and that. Beautiful. Love that even more. We love bee toys. Now, it's been a minute since Leapfrog has been on the list, and I will not lie. It's because I have not been impressed with a lot over the past couple of years, but I am impressed here, especially if we've got a baking family. I bake a lot. My kids know that. They've seen me. I have my own stand mixer, and it's something that they are familiar with. They see me using, and I think this is adorable. It's also pretty sizable. I will say for this age, 3 years old, I would, take a look at some of these pieces. No shame, may I say, for taking out pieces that you do not find appropriate for your kids. I still do that to this day. If I know that they will just get thrown on the floor, put in mouths, potentially choked on, used inappropriately, take those out. That's part of you being mom or dad or parent or whoever. You're making these decisions for these little people, and you absolutely have the authority to sneak those things out and not include them in the gift. So again, with these butters and the chocolates, I really tried to look at reviews and look at the pictures, and they do look pretty sizable to me. But again, it's just something, your own kid better than I ever will. So obviously do what you will with what it comes with, but I thought this was adorable because not only does we have the lights, we've got the buttons, we've got all the learning, usual Leapfrog stuff going on here, but the fact it looks pretty big to me. Like, I think that looks pretty comparable to regular stand mixers in adults. So I think this is adorable, super, super cute, especially if you're a little baker yourself. Your kid's going to love this. So moving on to the $35 toy, we've got the tumbling mat. It packs up really nicely. We've got a little hopscotch moment going on here. Adorable. Things like this, do not underestimate them for 3-4-year-olds. They need as much cushion as they can get. They are going to be jumping off things, couches, tables, chairs, whatever they can crawl on, they will then jump off. So I think anything like this that gets them to tumble and roll and roughhouse in one spot safely with a cushion underneath them is great. I especially love the fact that we've got some hopscotch going on. It looks like it folds up really nicely. And again, this is Bee Toys, so it's made with quality. Sorry, Canadian friends, but I will do my best when I can to link comparable items. So now I'm just going to go through the 4 to 6-year-olds and I'll open those links and we will look through those. All right, so starting off strong with the 4-year-olds $20 gift, I found this Chuckle Roar rubbing plates set. This is awesome. So we have had different versions of the Chuckle and Roar, different art kits that they have. What really convinced me was this little hand piece right here that is going to make it easier for kiddos to be able to do this. That's kind of like an advanced movement if you ask me. I'm not a medical professional, just a mom of 3, but I really liked the fact that they included that here, so it is easier for them to handle. So we've got different plates here they can mix and match, and I thought this was really cute. The fact that it comes with its own storage as well, you guys know I'm just 10 out of 10. And it does come with crayons, it says, but obviously you could use anything that's going to fit in that holder. Those crayons look pretty standard to me, so I would think, you know, get a box of other crayons, rip the wrapper off of them, and you're good to go. So only thing you're missing here is paper. Does it include paper? Oh yes, a 75-page notepad. So it even comes with paper, and that's really nice too. So yeah, I love this. They have multiple different sets with like paint dot and just a bunch of different stuff. And they all kind of come in this type of container. Love it. So next, the $25 gift. I loved this inflatable teeter totter. Does this look like someone bopping their head waiting to happen? Absolutely. But you know, what else is a 4-year-old for? So it does say indoor or outdoor. You know, I wonder how something like this is going to do on grass and not pop. But regardless, I like the fact that you can inflate it, deflate it, you know, makes for easy storage if it's not getting played with, something that you can continually bring out. And it's just, it looks amazing. It really does. I know that my 4-year-old would personally have a blast with this. So I was a little bitter because I found this after I was done Christmas shopping, or else I probably would have gotten something like this with her. But especially if you've got 2 kids who are really close in age, this is something definitely to look into. And then their $30 gift, I loved this Melissa and Doug hamburger stacking game. So not only is this something that is obviously humongous and they can play with sequencing and looking at the cards, but it's also something that they can just play with. You know, like how cool would it be to make your own giant burger? I just think this is really cool. So obviously it's meant to be a game, and it could be, or it could be something that they play with pretend play. I think either way, this has a lot of different possibilities to it. And with it being Melissa and Doug, I trust the quality on something like this to not just like rip apart and fall apart. So I thought this looked really cool. So we are moving on to the 5-year-olds. Their 20 and under gift is this Melissa and Doug Sights and Sounds toy camera. I thought this was really neat. So this is in conjunction with the national parks. So this is a little bit more tailored to the states people here, but we have national parks, as I'm sure most countries do. But our national parks here are, I feel like, continually a bigger and bigger thing. A lot of us are very passionate about our national parks. So I love the fact that they did a collab. I believe there's other toys in this collaboration as well, but I thought this one was really neat just because it does involve a camera, which what kid doesn't like a camera? And then we also have different facts that you can learn about them, and sounds and different animals, ones that you are also not going to see every single day. You know, we're not talking dogs and cats. We've got a black bear that says Stellar J, I think. We've got elk, mountain lion. So different animals than they're used to. And I think if you have an animal lover on your hands, they would really enjoy this as well. So I wanted to be sure to mention this. Like, look at that little map. It's so cute. I love this collection between the national parks and Melissa and Doug. So that is their 20 and under gift. And then for 25 and under, again, Melissa and Doug, but they've been killing it, in my opinion. Not sponsored, not at all. I just own a lot, and as a mom of 3, I can just attest to their durability. So this one I think is awesome. I love this little barber set. It's adorable. Also, thank you the fact that we have all kinds of different kids playing with this set with the pictures. I love that about Melissa and Doug. They're not about to just sit one kid in all the pictures and have them play with it. They're going to show you that anybody can play with it. So I love the fact that you can put this little beard on and tie it on. I think all kids are just on some level obsessed with trying to cut their own hair, and this is a good way to do it. And we explain we play with this stuff and not real things. So I've been there. My kids have cut their own hair. I can't tell you how many times. It always grows back. Try not to worry. But I don't think things like this encourage that behavior necessarily. I think if anything, it gives them an outlet to place that curiosity into something safe for them to play with. And I know my girls have watched their dad trim up his beard before. He just does it at home. But they would recognize the clippers. They would also recognize some of the other stuff in here. He does use a razor like on his higher cheeks. So some of the stuff like that, they know shears and also just hair cutting for myself. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. So obviously anything like this is really up my alley. I love to see things like this. I would love to see even more trades with the Melissa and Doug. I think they are very heavy in trade work, but I love the fact that they continue to be. So anything like that is going to get a green light from me. And then their 35 and under is something that I wanted to get my oldest, but I wasn't sure if it was too young for her. And I think it is. It just doesn't provide enough entertainment for someone who's 9. So I do think that this is excellent for the age group. So we're looking at 5-year-olds here. And it is 5 and up, but you know, it's just like a little experiment kit. It's not crazy with the amount of things that come with it. You know, we don't get a ton of things here. You're only going to be able to do so much, but I think at this age and at this price point, that is perfect to gauge their interest, to see how much it gets played with, to introduce them to it, whatever it might be. I think this is perfect. It's also like kind of fun and quirky enough without looking like it's going to make an absolute mess and be completely nasty to clean up. It also looks relatively easy to clean and pretty easy to store as well. So I wanted to mention this because this is something I was looking at for my own kids, and I think the younger demographic would do better with it. So for the 6-year-olds, their $20 and under gift is this rainbow cord picture and pattern maker. So I think this is, yeah, it says 5 to 10. I just don't know if 5-year-olds are going to get a lot out of this. Might be a little too structured for their attention span, but I think this is something the older your kid gets that they could enjoy. So basically it's almost like you're painting with these cords, which I think is really, really neat. So next, this is their 25 and under. You guys know how much I have talked about the Crayola, what are they called? Color pets, you know, the ones where you scribble pets, that's what they're called. We have had so many sets of them, and they are awesome. Don't get me wrong, but there's only so many years in a row I can say that we love those. So I went a little different route. Again, this is the FAO Schwarz. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they can color their own cars. And I looked through the reviews, and they're pretty good. As much as something can be colored and washed, these things are good. You know, I've seen a lot of reviews, whether it be here or those Crayola Scribby pets, where people get kind of upset that eventually they stain. I think it's kind of the nature of having to color something over and over again and then rinsing it off. They're not going to come completely spotless, but I don't think that's the goal. The goal is to be able to erase most of it so your kid can come up with something different. And it comes off enough so that your child's able to still do that. I also like the fact that we've got different wheel options here. We've got different stickers. The fact that it looks like a little car wash. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. Look at this. I want to play with that. Obviously, you can see that their hands are messy. It's completely normal. Any clothes that I don't want marked up or messed up obviously have to come off, and they have a field day. Is it a little bit messy? Yes, but I mean, some of the best toys are. So I love this. It's a little bit different take on a toy that I have been loving and from a different company, but I like this brand enough that I would give it a shot and I would pay the $20 for it. All right, so this is a bummer. I looked this up to see if I could find it anywhere else, and I cannot. So I'm assuming that this is becoming a relatively popular toy and why it was on my list. So this is the Lite Brite Touch. Obviously, a lot of us are going to know what Lite Brite is, but that does require some kind of storage with all those little pegs. And they do have bigger versions now as well, but I really liked the touch feature. So I'm really sorry. I'm probably not going to be able to link this because I can't find it Walmart, Target, Amazon, anywhere. But if you find it for a kid this age in store, I would highly recommend it. It is normally under $30, so please do not pay a reseller more than that. But I think that this is a great gift. It's not something that they are going to lose pieces to or lose track of. And this age, like 6 years old, this is right when I feel like that responsibility starts to kick in. So they are starting to get better with keeping their pieces and stuff with toys, but it's still something like a Lite Brite. Those are tiny. You can lose those really easily. So I think this is great, something they can carry wherever they want to, play with in a bunch of different ways, and it allows them to be very creative. All right, so starting off with the 7-year-olds, their 20 and under gift is this FAO Schwarz bopper. Basically, it's whack-a-mole, and I love this. So it looks to be about a pretty good size. What kid isn't going to love this? I feel like this is perfect for this age. I don't think I need to really explain a lot here. It's perfect. Perfect. So next up, I have to show this one at Target. I did have one on Amazon that was blue, and I would have loved to show that to you and link that there, but it is all sold out. This is the same thing. It's just in red, and it comes from Target. So I'm sorry, Canadian friends. But my oldest got this for her most recent birthday. And I'm not a spider person. I'm not necessarily afraid of them. I know some people are very frightened of them. But, and even phobias. I'm not there. But even still, something like this freaks me out. But I will say, this is one of the best remote control things I've ever seen, and it is pretty creepy. They play with it a lot on our dining room table. Our dining room table is like a really big square, so we can get a lot of space on this thing, and they love just moving it around the table and having fun with it. They also use it out here on the tile. It works really well. It's really simple. Everyone from my 4-year-old to my 9-year-old loves it, but I think this age, this just feels super appropriate. It's really great. So if you can stomach it, this is a great option. I also believe this brand, the Terra by Battat, I think they have a snake version. I could be wrong, but unless snakes are more doable for you than tarantulas, I'm the opposite. I will not do snakes. No. But I can stomach a spider. So that's what my oldest got, and I had to recommend it because it actually works really well and it is pretty cool. So next for their 35 and under gift, right? Yes. We've got this microphone. This was something my oldest also got for her birthday, and amazing. She is a huge Kidz Bop fan, I should say that. So there's obviously a ton of these different microphones out there, but I specifically liked this one because it is Kidz Bop version. So it's really cool. It's basically like any other little microphone here, but you know, you're just obviously supporting the Kidz Bop brand. But I do like this because it has a really good volume adjuster on it. It syncs up really easily to play her songs and stuff like that. So I just had to recommend it. It's been working out really well for us, and I just wanted to throw it in here. It felt appropriate for this age. So moving on to the 8-year-olds, this is their 20 and under gift. This game is amazing. So I don't know if any of us older millennials remember the Koosh, but it was one of my favorite toys growing up. I really loved it. So we just had these slingshots down there. So that's what we had to play with. But this is basically that, and it's just made a game out of it. This is something my kids, again, do not let me remove from the house. They like playing with this way too much for me to take away. They really enjoy it. It is as simple as it sounds. You know, you're just aiming at this thing. So this is something that we have to be careful about where we play with it at. But it is a lot of fun, especially if you're into retro 90s kind of thing. It's a great game. This is something that not only gives them something to do, but something to use, which I think is really cool. So I feel like if you have a very creative kid, whether they are writing or if they are pressing flowers, this is something that they could easily start to get into. And I really like these kits that start you off with the supplies that you need to get started, but you can reuse this. You can make paper with just about anything. You just really need this screen right here. So obviously you're going to have that from this kit, and you know, you could buy more dye if you want to, but really all you need here is this screen. So you're going to have that moving forward, and they're able to expand on this if it's something that they want to continue doing. Again, I think it's really cool that not only do they get to make something, but then they get to turn around, they get to use that. So I feel like for this age, they'd really appreciate something like that. And lastly, I know this is havoc. I know it is, but I just think of my oldest daughter who would absolutely tear this thing apart. So this is called a Think Box, and it's the Inventor set, and it is amazing. So it really, you could do this yourself. You could piece this all together. This is just already done for you in a container. I think why not support a brand like this? You know, it looks like they've got some really cool things, but they've got several different things in here, whether it's bottle caps, pipe cleaners, popsicle sticks, little wooden gears, a bunch of different stuff, different glue and string, wire, whatever. And they can make whatever they want. Like, I think that is so cool. The possibilities here are endless. And yes, again, you could piece this together and easily do this yourself if you wanted to. But I think if you're looking for a gift to give that's already done, you're not the type to piece it together, I think this is really cute. And for the price of $25, somebody putting all this together in one spot for you is a pretty good deal. It allows them to be super open-ended and just really creative. So finally, on to our 9-year-olds. Their 20 and under is this knit charm bracelet. I think this is awesome. I mean, look how cool these are. Beautiful. I want this myself. I'm just going to be honest with you. I really want this for myself. But this is, again, something I think that you could expand off of. Something that obviously you get some yarn and you get this tool and you can start making the bracelets. And then if they like this, it's something they can continue to do. It's also something they can continue to grow off of. So this is just introducing knitting, something they can expand on. If this is something they like, then they go into something even more in depth. So I really like this. Now the next one is again a crafty one. I'm sorry I have to show you at Michael's, but it's the only place where this is available right now. Again, I think this is kind of becoming a hot toy, but this is the Loopdedoo spinning loom. So this is a friendship bracelet maker. I had this on my list at Target, but it's sold out there and I cannot find it anywhere else other than Michael's. And I do believe someone said in one of my last videos that Canadians do have Michael's, so I'm hoping that's true. But I really like the fact that, again, there's storage underneath, and this looks to be very straightforward. It also looks to be very handy, and just like, honestly, if making friendship bracelets would have been this easy when I was a kid, I would have been the it girl. Because back in my day, we had to do those by hand. But like we had to do like tape, and you had to know all the braids and just have them memorized. And, you know, you were just like hoping that the tape stuck to the string and then also the table and stuff like that. So this looks far easier. And this looks like a lot of fun. It looks a lot less frustrating. I think this is brilliant for this age. Doesn't matter what gender your kid is. Everyone likes a friendship bracelet. I think it's really neat. And then lastly for this age group, before we get into the over $35 presents, is this geodes. So again, they're older. I think they can handle something like this, but breaking open rocks and getting an even prettier rock out of it, come on, who doesn't want that? Geodes, I think, are amazing by anybody's standards, and I just like the fact that you get several here. There's a bunch of different, obviously, variations that you could end up with. And they also have little pedestals and display stands that you could put those up on. So I think this is a really neat gift. I really like this. Let's get into the $35 and up range. Okay, so you can see down here, I do have some links right here that are over $35. I'm not going to walk you through all these because this video has been terribly long enough, but I will link them down in the description box in case you're wanting a few extra bigger gift kind of inspirations. I have a few things here, whether it be for toddlers, we've got different things for kids of different ages. I was looking at whether it be for my own kids or whatever. So here's just kind of a general look, just clicking on the links here to give you an idea. But these are some that I really liked the look of and I thought would make excellent gifts over that $35 range. So I will have those linked down in the description box below. If you stuck around for the entire video, why don't we put some kind of present emoji in the comments to let me know that you did hang out with me the entire time. Thank you so much if you did. I really do appreciate it. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching. Thank you.